Okay, and now we're recording. Welcome all to the October 3rd, 2022 meeting of SIG Apps. I'm going to bring up the agenda and post it into the chat. Okay, no announcements so far. So let's open up with discussion. And Rian, if you'd like to, did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, Rihanna is good.
All right, so if you'd like to start us off, please.
Thanks. I thought we were done with all the apps endpoints, but there is still two that we discovered in sitting in core. So already reviewed. Thank you very much to all the SIG Apps people that help with that. Test spread is looking good. I had it on the agenda and then all these good things happened. So I thought it would be rude not to come around to say all is good. Thanks for the review. So I'll be back on the 14th of October with a promotion PR if all stay green on the test spread. And that should be the last of the apps endpoints getting tested. The good news is that we are almost there when it comes to conformance progress. I can copy that and share this in the chat. There's API Snoop. We have but 21 endpoints left, then we will reach 100% conformance testing. Of which 9 already have E2E tests. So we hope by KubeCon Europe, we will be able to announce 100% conformance testing of all APIs that's in GA.
Awesome.
That's my bit. Thank you very much. SIG Apps have been very helpful. Just a point that I might, while I'm at it, or that I might want to mention, there was talk of consolidating tests about last year this time when we submitted the last of the apps endpoints, because there's a lot of tests where there is testing of endpoints, bringing up 1 or 2 endpoints and then bringing it down, testing something else, bring up a new test, bring it down. So we're looking at next year when we're done with this, we'll come back to SIG Apps and start making life cycle tests where we test all of the variations of a specific endpoint in one single test and try and reduce the load on testing by not bringing up the same thing 5 times to test different endpoints. That's me. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on. The next item is a bug about deployment available condition. Philip, are you here? No. Okay. So let's see if we can figure out exactly. So this is, for context, this is all about this Kaplan PR in order, that's, well, attempting to unify the status and conditions across the workload controllers. But I'm not sure where this.
I think Philip is out today. There's a holiday in Germany.
Yeah.
I think he's just raising awareness about the CAP has been open for a while. There has been several discussions in the CAP and originally in the API PR that Philip submitted a couple of months back when he was trying to consolidate the first time the conditions. And if I remember correctly, The comment from Daniel was that available is not necessarily not necessarily means that your, I don't know, deployment or replica set is fully available, as in all pods are running that you would expect. That's why he is proposing to change how this is being defined currently. Because
So he's
theoretically,
adding this thing called operational, but
yes, that was one of the proposals in the other PR. Can't
yeah,
remember if we have already a link there. So probably it would be good if folks could have a look at the cap and comment with their own experiences and suggestions about the path forward.
it sounds reasonable. Okay, but if he's not, or yeah, I think it's a he or they are not here to, I don't want to misgender anyone, are not there to talk about it. I guess we'll move it to the next time. And then Peter, do you need something from me? What?
Yeah, so I'm just bringing this up for review. So I think I raised this previously, and like it was a way back in like June. So this is a cap that would add an additional field to the stateful set spec to enable the starting ordinal to be modified. Implicitly at 0. The cap would allow that to be an arbitrary integer. And the use case here is really supporting cross-cluster migration. So this cap, I've moved it under SIG multi-cluster. It does align with some of the use cases in multi-cluster, but the code changes are all in the stateful set. And so just like to raise this topic back up, I am looking at, targeting 126 as an alpha feature for this cap. So that, as we all know, that deadline's coming close this Friday. So I just wanted to raise this for any discussion and feedback in SIG Apps.
Jen and Magic and I all agreed that in principle, we think it's a good idea. It's not a huge code change. It's not a huge patch to carry. Are you sure you want to do this under SIG multi-cluster though? Because again, the code change is all under SIG apps.
Yeah, would it make more sense then if I move it back to SIG Apps? I think the reason I moved it over to multi-cluster is just based on the use case alignment. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should be involved because of the use case alignment. And you're not going to have to do anything. You're not doing anything specific with the persistent volume orchestration.
No, that's outside the scope of this cap.
Okay. So your path forward is you want to add this to stateful set first. But are you okay? Like when you're doing the persistent volume juggle, let's just take the 3 major cloud providers, right? Let's say, or let's add Oracle now. So on any of those, when you're doing the persistent storage juggle, like there's a whole other thing than just scaling up the stateful set. Like you're going to have to set the PVC to retain, delete the PVC, create a new PVC that references the persistent disk / EBS volume / Azure disk volume inside of the new cluster. Do another dance in order to make sure that it actually gets adopted and the PVC gets created. And then you're going to have to do that in conjunction with scaling up the stateful set. So like the patch for the stateful set thing is nice. And I don't think it's like bad, but like, is there going to be contribution into the open source community where we're going to get some stuff to help leverage it in order to actually orchestrate that in a uniform way across the community?
See, yeah, so I think those aspects of like orchestrating, like those can certainly be done from an operator perspective. And so it's not something that I've like prototyped and coded up specifically for like having that as an open source contribution, but it's something that, could be leveraged as a library in Golang that an operator could use for moving over persistent volumes. I think it is kind of cloud dependent though, based on like what the target is, what the source is.
It is going to be cloud dependent, but this is the thing. Again, small patch, great kind of ambition. But if we make the patch into stateful set and then we don't have anything to offer anyone to actually leverage, like is the intention to actually offer something in the future so that other people can leverage it? Or is it going to be primarily for your internal use?
Yeah, I guess the use case, like, there is an internal use case, but there's also like an ISV use case of an operator incorporating this and using this to build a multi-cluster operator.
Okay, but is there anybody who's committed to doing that? Is kind of the only question, right? Like, or is anybody?
Not right now, no.
Okay. I mean, like that is still the hard part, right? Like you're asking like the patch isn't big on one side, but on the other side, it's like, well, if we do it and we put it on the V1 surface, like, well, so you want to take it to alpha, right?
Right, yeah.
Behind a feature gate.
And
I
then,
guess, like,
and then, we'll see where it goes, and if we can get more traction, prototype things out, then we look towards graduating it.
all right, I guess, but with the way that the policy is now, right? Like we can't leave it sit forever. Like, I mean, unfortunately, we used to, right? So we're kind of like on a, on a quick track to, like, you actually have to get it to beta and so forth. If we're going to do that, then how are we going to verify it, right? What is it without any use cases in the community or any kind of like commitment to build some so people can actually verify this out in open source? How do we get it to a beta level stability or a GA level stability?
I see. Yeah, that does make sense. That, like, there does need to be some open source, like, end-to-end product. Is that kind of what you're saying, or?
Yeah, I mean, something we can use, or like either implement, like it's kind of hard to, like, so we do this and we can say this feature works and it's not a heavy burden to carry it. And like, I certainly can see how this would be useful for my own use cases internally, but to make it more useful broadly to the community, it's like, okay, is there anything we can do here? How can I help you get some people around it to build something in the open source, either, I don't know, as a working group or whatever, in order to actually get something that's available for people to utilize, maybe not universally, but at least across a couple of major cloud providers, so that we can, like, have confidence in promoting it forward.
Yeah, and I mean, like, certainly read write many solutions can work with this without needing a lot of PVC juggling, and that could be like an initial use case that.
Okay, that's actually a very good point. I was thinking of, because read write many is like, you see that a lot for basically machine learning notebooks, use cases like that, right? So yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like setting up an NFS file system that is accessible across a network, across different clusters, like that could definitely be a step one that wouldn't require an open source contribution, and then we can build on top of that.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody have anything else, or like everybody should go check out the CAP for sure, if they haven't already? Does anyone have anything to add or any other questions? I'll take silence as a no in this case. Okay, I think that's all the topics that we had for today. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up while we're here? Okay.
Philip joined. I see his name appeared on the participants. I'm not sure if he wants to.
Okay, cool. Hey, Philip, we can back up. And so what was the discussion you wanted to have around the convergence of conditions and status for the workloads controllers? Hand it over to you.
Yes, sorry, my internet is a bit choppy, so yeah.
Can anyone hear Philip? I can't. No.
Yeah, me either.
Philip, Okay, I wonder if you can hear us in chat. Philip, we can't hear you. Can you go ahead? So we can't hear you. Do you think we should reschedule, given that the internet is choppy, so we can make this work out? Like, it's fine for us, unless it's critical for you to try to do it now, or
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me?
given that your internet connection's unstable, do you think we should reschedule this discussion?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we can reschedule it for the next time. Sorry.
Yeah, it looks like we can schedule. That's what he said just a minute ago. Oh, you're talking, Ken, and you're muted.
So there we go. He put it into chat. So, okay, we'll reschedule for next meeting. Okay, if there's nothing else, then we will give back 38 minutes. Thanks everyone for attending. Thanks everyone who brought a discussion topic or presented the success for E2E. And see you all next time.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Ken.
everybody. Cheers.